because we need to put on makeup. This is ugly shirt that was given to me as a present years ago, and I forgot I had it. It's flannel, it's a men's medium, it's Columbia. What is it called? Performance hunting gear. Do I hunt? No. And this is this is the thing. This is this person's vision for what they wanted me to look like, right? In this big old man's shirt. I look like I'm in a game. It's a nice shirt, but these colors, was it on sale? Or was he giving me a gift that someone gave him that he didn't want? That's my question. But yeah, we're looking tired. We've been working so hard. You know what it is. We're just trying to get on a little makeup, a little zhuzh, because we're gonna read some chapters. We've been getting into our novel again. We've been working on it, and you know, let's get it, let's go. I had an encounter with a woman who has a book vending machine, maybe a series of book vending machines, and I, was so excited to hear about her work and, repost her on another social media app and whatnot. And then she reached out to me asking me if I needed a reading. And I was so like, what? And I kind of like went along with it. It's not something that I seek out. I don't necessarily, I don't want to say believe in. I don't necessarily buy that is going to, I've encountered people who've given me readings, right? I remember at the restaurant Akbar in Manhattan, you'd be out eating beautiful Indian food with beautiful stained glass. And then they had, for entertainment, someone in the restaurant who would come to your table and do a reading, or you'd go over to their table and do a reading. I don't remember, but I've encountered people who did whatever it was, tarot card or palm reading. I don't remember. I just remember, drinking out at birthday parties, and then that sort of thing happened. I ran into Erykah Badu once, and she told me something about burning white candles, and it's charming. It's like astrology. Like, these are interesting ideas. But the thing about it was that, I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to support this book vending machine person's work. I'm being polite in terms of fielding this ask, like, would you like a reading? And it's like, not really, but okay. But then I was asked to make a donation for it, right? And so just like on TikTok, when people reach out to you and they need so much, they have a feeling, they want to give you a reading. It's not like it's free. It is kind of I guess it's a good piece of labor that they, it's not inappropriate to ask for, I guess, a tip or a fee or whatever that is for it. But, it's not like I ever approached this woman and her work looking for something like that. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't look to the tarot cards or crystal ball or any of those people. You always wonder, like, how they keep these, pieces of real estate rolling with these, businesses that, if it's something you're into, cool. But I felt, not only did I not want a reading, I just felt like, in a world of things that you need to spend your money on, I'd sooner buy a lottery ticket than invest in a reading, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Respectfully, I get that people are into it and that they believe in it and that they get some kind of motivation or confirmation or something from it. But to me, just growing up around that, the corner psychic, the person sitting outside with a little folding table asking, and in a way, kind of looking for people who were having doubts about their man's fidelity, about their future, that kind of thing. And if people are looking for that kind of like improv confirmation, what is it called? Confirmation bias. I get it. It's just not, it's not what I'm looking for when I'm on social media, when I'm on other platforms, when I'm on this platform. You know, if I wanted to spend money on a tarot, psychic, astrological reading, I would go get that. I'm not looking for it when I'm trying to make a connection for other reasons. I would love to bring that sort of book vending machine to Los Angeles, but I feel like, maybe I screwed myself by not becoming part of the reading hustle. Does that make sense? I don't know. It has left me feeling puzzled. And again, people I like and I respect do that sort of thing, and they'll just do it. Do you actually, you know, did I actually believe that I should go burn white candles because Erykah Badu said so? I might have already had white candles, but you know, it's all in fun, right? It's all in fun. It's a different ball game when people are asking you for money for something that you did not ask for, that you're not, that you don't, in a way, want. Right? Even if you paid for it, doesn't mean that you necessarily believe in it. I had colleagues, you know, in Manhattan when I worked in politics who would talk about, and that's what my novel is about, like my work in politics. They would talk about, you know, going to these, what this particular person said, grifter. And, you know, they were saying, oh, you need to put $500 in a mason jar and then give it to me and I'll go throw it in the East River. That means that XYZ will happen. And it sounds like a fable. It sounds like, wow, yeah, maybe that is the key. You know, that the gods or fate respond to, you know, fiat currency folded up in a jar and thrown into the river. That seems like, you know, that's how you influence the hands of fate, not by your own actions or, you know, I think it's just sort of wishful thinking, right? It's like people who bet on sports or hope for the best or, you know, give that person another chance when history suggests that no more chances would be a better idea, or, you know, something. I don't know. I mean, even the whole notion of like people getting temporary restraining orders. Now, this is something I haven't tried before. I have a full spectrum CoverGirl All Day Idol brightening concealer, but of course this is not a brightening shade on me. What color is it? Well, they haven't put the shade name on the package. It looks a bit warm. Now, I did hear someone talk yesterday and say that they use black eyeliner as contour and then, quote, they neutralize it by using a warm bronzer or concealer. Do I have a black eyeliner? Something inexpensive, something that I wouldn't mind basically trashing. Hold on, I'll be with you directly. I'm gonna get something. Yes, indeed, stars. We're just trying to look a little bit more human. I don't mind my raw face, but this is, I had given a very negative review to this Ioni, what is it? Oh, Everlasting Lash Glue. Pure garbage, not worth your $1.29. And there's so many good, affordable products at the dollar store. That's not one of them. Ioni makes affordable lashes. That lash glue isn't going to do anything for anyone. But here is a fat, smoky, chubby eye pencil from Ioni, right? I grabbed this Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer, and it's worked out just fine. This is in the shade Ivory Light 01, so this is their lightest shade. Again, we work with what we can get our hands on. Not necessarily the thing we want, but the thing that's available, right? this shirt. I still have it. It was a gift. I think it's a very, very garish color combo. It's comfortable. It doesn't fit. See, the shoulder cap is all the way over there. I'm a men's small, not a men's medium. You know, to me, this gift seems to suggest that he would have been more comfortable if I were attired like a man. Let's get on some lip liner so we look less awful on camera. I mean, there's nothing wrong with how we look, but we don't look camera ready. We don't look cute, right? Trying to get our highlighting concealer on, and then our contour. We're gonna experiment. You know what? Let me double think, because this person also lined her lips with black. And I was about to go in with my favorite shade of Line Loud. We'll just rub that in. Takes me back to public transportation. Going to high school in New York City, people definitely line their lips in black, right? It's gonna give you that crisp, cartoon-like line. But this person swore this is the move. And certainly you're able to find black eyeliners everywhere. You don't want to get it in your mouth. And, you know, there's something about like chola makeup, kind of ghetto fabulous makeup. If you have more skin tone, I think you can play with deeper colors. Now, what she was saying is, was that, you know, think about where you want the sculpt line to rest. So you're getting a thin line. And then you can blend it out, right? Same thing. Contour that jaw, right? If you're feeling frustrated, that sometimes your contour ends up looking a little bit too blended out and too wide. Now, she also sculpted her nose. We're gonna try it. Right? When we see people do our makeup on set, right? Do we need the lines to go all the way down? Or do we just stop in that place where, you know, we're wanting to create an illusion of a higher bridge, right? Dragging that black kind of tapped out to gray contour to the center of the nose, right? Do we want it even thinner? But in any case, that's me kind of working on my book promotion journey. I haven't even finished the book. I had finished a version of it years ago, and then got into it with some production company people who, you know, similar to the record industry, wanted to kind of do shenanigans to limit my profit participation. Couldn't rock with it. That doesn't look entirely terrible, but let's keep going. You know, it's definitely always important to learn and have an open mind, right? Try to find partners that you can work with. But when you figure out that they don't respect you, and then they've got their hands in your pocket, right? When you are the person who can least afford to get, you know, ripped off for your intellectual property and life story, then you have to leave them alone. And often people who are being shady to you are not just being shady to you, right? That energy, that bad energy, that opportunism, it's a tip off, right? Just like we're trying to get the tip lowered on the end of our nose. Now, did I make the little horizontal line too low? Or is it okay? we of course can make it a little bit wider and tap it in, right? So shades, when you tap out this black, the good thing about it is that it taps out to gray. It does not tap out to an orangey brown, because that's the problem I have with a lot of this, you know, a lot of this contour that is basically bronzer orange, bronzer warm, bronzer like, ugh, you don't want, you want gray. Is my face looking dirty or is it looking contoured? But we're trusting the process. We're going to keep tapping, 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 right? Hopefully the warmth of our skin and the moisturizer on our skin will allow us to get a good blend, right? We don't want to drift this around too much. We want that very stark gray shadow to sustain itself through the layers of makeup to come. Is it better not to go right in with this pencil, but to use our favorite Sigma Edge Precision brush, right? We're on camera learning, right? We're thinking about our purposes, right? We're gonna stroke this brush across this pencil, this very affordable pencil. Maybe, fat, smoky, chubby eye, you will be the reason that my belief in Ioni will revive itself, because I certainly feel like I got played with that lash glue. I'd like my money back, but that seems unrealistic. We're just trying to sculpt our forehead, right? I like kind of looking at the temple area as a sort of half silver dollar right above the outside part of the brow, right? I had watched a certain gentleman on TikTok do his forehead sculpt this way, and I thought it looked awesome, right? He just went in with these little half moons right above the temple, right? If it's looking too saturated, don't worry. We're going to go over it with a complexion product that hopefully will restore human color. But maybe we can also get this into the eye area to kind of stamp on an elevated crease. You know, and just think about the lift and the design of our eye makeup, right? That everything doesn't have to be color, color, color. Sometimes it's enough just to make a subtle difference with a product that's going to suggest shadow and help us keep our makeup simple. Sometimes it can look great when people have like 4 and 5 eyeshadow colors on. These incredibly lovely Morphe 2 quads have these very pale shimmer colors that are, they have like a duochrome, like a reflect that's green, and I'm sure the other ones have other colors of reflect. So they look incredible. Maybe not for a business purpose, but definitely if you're trying to do something quick and interesting for your social media. So I think a brush, especially a cornered brush, this is the Sigma Edge Precision, will give you precision and sculpt, right? Just so that that nose sculpt and that cheek sculpt can peep through your complexion product. Just using the same brush to finesse the blend under the chin, canceling out. We definitely have our favorite foods that we like to eat when we're busy, but you know, a patient blend with a good brush is never a bad thing. And then, you know, can the blended black and gray be a more credible version of contour, right? It is frustrating. There's so few product lines that have a good gray contour shade that doesn't look like bronzer, that doesn't look like toffee on the face. And maybe this, you know, cheap black chubby pencil from Ioni will help us get the job done. The job of shrinking that forehead and giving us a credible sculpt on the nose, some depth in the eyelid area. It's probably my least favorite in the eye area, but we're gonna see how it goes. And turning the nose up by creating some shadow higher up than the natural shadow. So the tip still stays bright, the bridge stays bright. We're starting to look a little clownish, and maybe we can stroke a little bit right onto the cheekbone, right? From the top of the ear forward, just to make it look like we've been hitting the gym and eating less carbs, right? Not too low, respecting what we did on this kind of hollowing out the cheek line, but allowing us to keep the lower part of our jaw bright. I don't hate it. Ioni Fat Smoky Chubby Eye Pencil. Let's see what it do. Did we not line our, did we line our lips? We did. Do we need to blend it out any, I wonder? Maybe, maybe not. So the idea was to neutralize the gray with this color. Let's just try a little tidbit to see what's what. I didn't necessarily believe this product was going to be deep enough for really contouring with, but maybe blending in with this gray, maybe it'll do something. Let's see. They were saying that the warm concealer can neutralize that gray contour. Is it going to be in a good way or in a bad way? You know, we're just getting a little taste of it. See what it does, right? I like this brush a lot because it has such precise corners and edges and points on it, so that it doesn't instantly look like you're a brown noser. That is very frustrating for me, because it's like you do so much to be careful about the color of your contour, but then the contour itself can just ruin it because it's just too warm, right? But now we're layering something warm over the kind of ashy darkness, right? We can use the tip of our brush to just tap in that lip liner, make it a little bit more blended and gradient. We want to pop the lip, but we don't want to look like an old newspaper cartoon, right? We want to look enchanting when we're reading our book chapters, right? This is such a great time to do political thriller fiction, because I don't know if you're watching what's going on in Congress, but it definitely seems like there's a lot of intrigue. Woo! People are, you know, people have agendas. That's fine. But from here, we're going to go in with a complexion product. I think yesterday we rocked with the Maybelline. So today, let's give the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous in the shade Soft Honey a whirl. Right? I've missed you on my YouTube lives, right? I've been trying to do some stuff in other places. Look at me. I'm bravely going to give another pair of Ioni lashes, and look at these big boys a whirl, right? It's appropriate with this shirt, just so that I look dramatic and interesting. I still have this Studio Fix Tech Cream to Powder Foundation. The woman in the Ulta said this was my perfect shade. I don't think she was correct. But, you know, you get what you get in the retail world. I have some other clean powder foundation, super pale. Oh, from CoverGirl. That is Cadaver Town for me. But then I also have this black opal, and this is Kalahari Sand. There is actually another color that someone was online talking about being perhaps a good shade match for the less warm toned pale women of color. It was this and then some other shade. I'll have to look it up online, but we can get this in our dish. Voila. Right, not too much of it, but we want to be able to put a thin layer on all this business we've put on our face. And then we want to get down to the business of reading, right? So we take our favorite squishy silicone sponge. I keep saying it, I'm gonna make an effort to make sponges like this available in my might create a Shopify just to do some things in the beauty space. As you probably have seen in some of my posts, I do have my own clothing store over there on the Clock app. And that's been a lot of fun, putting it together, offering discounts, and trying to help get people ready to enjoy their summer, right? There's so many cute trends, sheer dresses, maxi skirts, a lot of, color and pattern that we see from high-end designers, but maybe you don't want to spend high-end designer money, right? We're seeing what the Fed is doing with the money supply. We're thinking about our own attempts to improve our employment, right? We don't want to go too crazy, right? You got to risk it for the biscuit, but you don't want to leave yourself utterly bereft, right? And we do want to make sure we have more than one, stream of income, but it is a lot to manage, right? Even making sure that everything is functioning right with your YouTube channel, collabing with other people on their channels. Where do those assets live? Who potentially profits from them? How will you be promoted in terms of collabing on that work without fees? These are all worthy questions. I definitely pay attention to people who post about, these issues here on YouTube and on other platforms as well. I mean, there's certainly a lot of activity on the OF platform where you see people disagreeing and violating consent and then wanting to, kind of bicker back and forth about not only the incidents, but also about who profits from it, right? Is it then kind of risque content for their audience? It's fascinating, right? YouTube is such a window on different lifestyles, different creative communities. And yes, indeed, Miss Ione has left me with glue on my eyelid. But that's not going to stop me, Ione. I used your black fat eye pencil as contour. And I'm going to see how that works out, right? Does it lift? Does it blend in with the complexion product? Or is it fine? Is it too harsh? Or will it give us even more natural looking shadows? I feel like our face could use some color. And I am tempted to get back into this shade, which we've been rocking with for several days. But is this the right choice? I don't want to do something as dull as a nude lip, in as much as I do enjoy some of these rose comforting lip color items. We do have a strong liner on, and we do have some other lippy options. Ooh, we have some MAC lip gloss. We have rediscovered, here's a hipster shade of Iman lipstick, which is sort of boring color. I don't think we want to look that dreary. We want to look a little bit more lively, right? A little bit more lively than a lip gloss, a little bit more lively than just plain Jane. And if you ask me, that was this fella's goal in giving me this shirt. Don't I look like I should be working as a mechanic? Is that the vision he had for me? Here is a couple of shades of matte Mega Last lipstick. Not too exciting. This one is a deep purple. Maybe that's a little bit too gothy goth. What is the right lip color? We need to move on with life, right? Something to provide a little bit of excitement and brightness on the lip. Well, we might be making a wrong choice, but here's Last First Kiss by our friend Jaclyn Hill. Seems like a matte, maybe a little bit pink, a little bit mauve. What is that outside? A cat? Thankfully it stopped raining, at least for a couple of days. That doesn't look awful. It certainly doesn't match this shirt. Nothing matches this shirt. Maybe it was on sale. Maybe that's the logic of why this character wanted me to have this shirt so bad. But if you can imagine, right? If I might go to dinner in like a blouse or something pretty, he saw this and he said, no, no, I want to get this awful, too big plaid shirt and have her wear it, you know, almost like wearing a burlap sack. Like, how could I feel excited about wearing this? Not unless I was, you know, coming in from the rain, soaking wet, and just feeling like, give me anything to wear. And then feeling warm and dry inside the flannel. But this isn't anyone's idea of attractive. Just getting the remnants on our cheeks so that we can do a little bit to unify the colors on our face. Now this is coming together. I don't hate this, but it's not as colorful as what we were wearing yesterday. And maybe that's appropriate, right? The restraint of conservative makeup that you might wear to the office. Dare we get some of this lip gloss on and sexy it up? Well, it's time to risk it all. Let's put it on our fingernail just so that we're not getting a bunch of dark color into the doe foot of this very beautiful, it's got a sort of gold duochrome. It is Nymphette. How appropriate. The novel is called Muffin. It's a view of the political lobbying class from the bottom, right? And you're an entry-level worker in these circles. If you're not careful, you know, it's just like being in Hollywood. Like, you can try to social climb. You can think that people are taking you seriously when, on a certain level, they feel like they're hunting fish in a barrel. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it turns out good for all parties, but I think we know enough about people who don't make it to the other side, right? If your instincts don't warn you when, you know, people really aren't telling you the truth or being your friend, you can get in trouble. And it doesn't matter where you work, right? Who was that lady, that cop down in somewhere like North Carolina or somewhere, where she's saying that she was groomed into doing this and that with her male colleagues. She was fired. I'm not sure of all the details, but, you know, whatever situation that woman got herself into, I'm sure it was all smiles and jokes and laughter before things went left, before, you know, people outside the group found out about it. And then there was a lot of backtracking, right? People wanting to claim that they didn't know or they didn't believe in it. Now, I had a bronzer the other day that I really, really enjoyed. I found the other bronzer and it's fine, but it isn't this. Now, I also got hold of the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil, and it smells really interesting. It's not quite as dark as you would think it would be. It's very warm. Will this betray the gray on our lids? I did enjoy this other bronzer. Oh yes, the NARS. Let me remember the brands, right? So if this is Too Faced Dark Chocolate, quote, Dark Chocolate Soleil. Smells good, looks orange. Then this is the mid-tone shade of the Avani Gregg Vacation Luminous Bronzer. This is also a little bit orange, right? On my skin tone, I want to look bronzed, meaning tan. I don't think this product is going to give it to me. I think that I need to get back into the NARS Laguna because that's where the magic happened before. As you see, I abuse my brushes and use the ends to blend lip color. All right, just trying to clean that off and finesse our lip color so it's looking natural. But you and I know this color is lifted. It's a little bit more than it was naturally, right? Let's see if we can grab a beauty sponge the traditional kind, and clean off this, the end of this brush, so that we don't end up smearing lip color unintentionally on this festival of color of a shirt. Thanks, Guy, for this very puzzling plaid shirt. It's gigantic. But again, my point in one of my earlier clock app posts was that this is like a hot brand and a hot item in Hollywood. You know, men of wealth love Columbia fishing, hunting, all this gear for its sun protection. It's very quality construction, but it's also not anyone's concept of fashionable. You're not going to look pretty in this. And so, you know, this is another man who met me looking how I look, dressing how I dress, but then had this other fantasy of me being under his control and wearing what he wanted me to wear, which is, I guess, to dress like him. How odd, right? We're just getting this bronzer in the shade Laguna, kind of stamping it over our gray contour in the lid area, right? Tapping it over. We're still struggling with that glue. We decided we weren't going to abuse our skin to try to get that glue off. We're going to let that glue, that naughty glue, come off when that naughty glue wants to. How about that? Maybe the kind of powder formula of this bronzer will help isolate that glue and send it on its way. But, you know, I'm not gonna like rub and abrade my lids to get it off. I did go in with castor oil, I did double cleanse, but in as much as the glue wants to cling to my skin, it did not cling to the lashes. Fail, that's what I say. Come at me, Ione. Affordable makeup should still be makeup that actually does the job. I don't appreciate the waste of my $1.29. I know that's very selfish of me, but it is what it is. So this is the NARS Laguna, right? It's much more credible as a bronzer because it has brown cool tones, not that crazy orange. And some people say that those orange bronzer shades are created for people with less melanin in their skin, so that the orange, like you know, certain celebrities, the orange will look credible as a bronzer on their skin tone. On my skin tone, it looks like streaks of orange, and that's not my jam. So from here, should we line the eyes? I think so. Maybe not something shimmery. I do like this Shockwave, but it's a metallic liner. This is a lip pencil. We're always getting confused between the two. This is the Epic Wear liner stick in Burnt Sienna. This is a little too much color for what we're trying to do. And then this is the one that I used as a lip pencil yesterday, and I broke the bottom thinking that it was some kind of, you know, sharpener in the tail of this product, and there was none. So just getting this across the lash line. Are we going to tight line? I don't know. You know, I have dark lashes, and I get it. People who have sparse lashes or want to do more can tight line. I think it's always an option. I think it's really important to get your liner right under the inside part of your lash line, and then on the outer corner, so that you can use an angled brush to pull that out and have it look more like a wing or like an extra eyelash. But, you know, I promised people that I would work on getting my lashes right today. We definitely already picked a better lash glue that would actually come out and then get grippy instead of playing us and ending up on my fingers. I had so much lash glue on my fingers and on the lashes. There was no hope of getting the glue off, but already that's looking cute. Do we need to powder anywhere? Do we need to add a shimmer to the eyeshadow, but already we're looking healthier. And we had gone in with a brightening concealer and then used this black chubby pencil from Ioni to actually do our contouring. I don't hate it. It is looking like the natural tone of shadow. Is it peeping through our complexion product too much? Maybe just here. We kind of got a little bit too heavy of an application, I think, there. But we're just using this. I think this is actually, yes, it's an Ioni angled brush. It has a spoolie, right? So you can get great affordable products at the dollar store, but you know, you still need to be discerning. And if the product doesn't serve you the way you need it to, you gotta, you know, either find something else affordable or, you know, don't be unwilling to replace it. At the end of the day, a cheap product that doesn't work, that ends up gumming up your lids, God forbid I had a, you know, a union acting job out in the world and had this glop on my face. I would be upset, to say the least. It won't come off. It has an iron grip on my face. I don't appreciate it. From here, we should stamp over this with an eyeshadow to set it. Now, where did I put that incredible palette, also from Too Faced? This is a wonderful palette. Got hold of it, got a spare, the Too Faced Natural Eyes. So cute how it has the little heart on the edge. It's heavy, definitely feels like luxury. I know people say a lot of different things about the people who own Too Faced. I saw a little documentary. Let's get into that dark shade Sexpresso. I like how you're thinking, Too Faced. But they were saying that, you know, the Too Faced people, I think the sister said something intolerant and had to be fired from the company. Then there were some business practices that were exploitative, allegedly, with Nikkie Tutorials. There are, you know, at the end of the day, when people claim to be your friend, there's still capitalism at play. As long as your interests align, as long as you're letting them, you know, get away with their BS, everything's fine and everything's friends. But, you know, using your name and likeness and, you know, laughing all the way to the bank at your expense, and then, you know, saying unkind things about your community, you know, please make a comment if you know more of the details off the top of your head. But I feel like there are some beauty gurus that are still talking about the incidents in a very informed way. And, you know, it's definitely a hard side-eye kind of dynamic, right? And certainly Nikkie Tutorials has bounced back, and I think we've all been educated by, you know, just people not conducting their business in a way that would lead to long-term good feelings for the brand, for the business relationship, etc. So if that is setting our pencil liner with this deepest matte shade from this beautiful Too Faced palette, is there a condom over the mirror, or is that just, I think that's just embossed onto the mirror. But we might also consider taking a fluffy brush and then stamping little cat's paw, stamping, I guess, this palest shade, Heaven, right? This palette smells so yummy. It does smell like heaven. So, you know, we live and learn, right? We learn from watching people's business practices. We learn from, you know, having business relationships with people over years, right? But once people reveal to you, right, white eyeshadow is in fashion right now. You don't have to necessarily brighten your inner corner with sparkle, especially not during the day. You do want that contrast. You don't want to obliterate your brown liner, but bringing a little bit of lightness and sculpt to that inner corner. I have a very heavy brow. I think it can be wonderful, right? Little filter action. What's the right filter that's not going to make me look won't make me look icky. Gee, that's weird. Some of these filters are just unusual. Blush, we've settled there. But I think we've improved things, right? Just these basic colors, right? As we go in with bronzer as shadow, as we add deeper tones of brown to help celebrate the sculpt of our eyelids, right? Things are looking a little powdery, but I think improved. But our goal is to get ourselves looking right for camera, right? We can go back in with this original brush that we used with our bronzer and add this matte shade called Cashmere Bunny and get that right into the kind of meatiest part of our crease. That's the part that I like to use darker shadow, and this isn't the deepest color of shadow, just to finesse the blend, tucking it a little bit into our crease, but getting the darkest part right there, because that's what's going to give us an effective sculpt, right? It's not just dragging color across your lid. I think the more you do your makeup, the more you're like, wow, my makeup looks better when I make it a little bit darker right there, right? Some of the theory about outer V is great, but when I started thinking about like, wow, why do I like color depth right here, right? With my, today it was contour with that black pencil liner that kind of blended out to gray. The reason I like it right there is that it does give you lift. It gives you kind of the heaviness and gesture that you might get from adding a lash. It kisses up toward the tail end of the brow, right? But you can have that bright inner corner and just that, the depth right here. You do have somewhat of a cat eye, but it's not super heavy, but it gives you the drama that you're looking for, especially when the, you know, camera or recording device is rolling. Beautiful palette. If you can get your hands on it, recommend. If you're interested, look into the naughty behavior from the creators. What beauty creator is not acting naughty? That has to be the question. Now, we should add some kind of blush. Now, we have not dug into this Quad Goals multi-palette, the one that's oh so nudie yet. Is today a day where we can look and see what it's looking like so that we can figure out if this one is for us? I only know of three. There's pink, there's peach, and then there's oh so nudie. The blush color is the second level, right? If this first level is eyes, cheeks, lips, right? This is eye. They always want to do some heavy, heavy sparkle. Cheeks looks like it's not going to look like anything on us. This is lips. This is definitely Cop Beat. And then this on the bottom is a highlighter. Eek. The lip color looks like it's going to be nothing. We'll try that a different day. But for now, let's get our, where are you, Mr. Blush Brush? Where are you hiding? Oh, we should put, I'm one of those people, I like to keep these little slips inside my different products. I somehow feel like maybe it helps the product not wander out of the package. Could just be superstition, but here it is. This is our wood-handled angled contour brush. We want to kiss it into this product and just see what it's giving on the high part of our cheek. Is it going to look like bronzer because it's nude? I have seen, you know, much paler people wear nude colored makeup, you know, with kind of lighter hair and it looking kind of like a boy beat, but looking really wonderful. This actually has more color payoff than I thought it would. In the pan, it looks like it's gonna look like Nicka K, Nicka K eyeshadow on me, which no matter what color it is in the pan, Nicka K on me looks like cornstarch, looks like baby powder. Not necessarily the look that I'm trying to achieve. So we're just stamping over the places where we contoured, right? Maybe giving a little streak across the forehead, effectively shrinking down the forehead, right? By giving it that gradient of shadow so that it looks like it recedes, right? We're not trying to duplicate what we did with our contour, but we definitely want enough of this product on so it'll read on camera. Twisting the brush inside the pan, dancing it across the nose, the chin. We could take some and blend out our eyeshadow color, right? We don't want to cancel it out, but you always want to blend so that the colors look less kind of drawn on, less painted on. Now our lips are looking a little pale. Maybe that's appropriate for how serious the subject matter of our book is. My writing teacher, he said that I can only write this project, and it's getting me comfortable kind of digging out the earlier iterations of it. You know, I've been sort of sitting with the experiences for a long time. We can use the same brush, and we've gotten into it lately, this Gorilla Snot. And it does, ooh, look at the stretch on the product. It does, to me, a fine job of lifting and setting my brows. I'm not a person that uses, of course I broke the cap off of it. I'm not someone who uses a lot of gel all the time. I have learned to appreciate how kind of neatened this sort of stuff can, it's helpful, for kind of making your hair, as a curly haired person, making your hair look a bit neater. We're just backcombing this through our brows and trying to keep our head hair out of the mix, right? But backcombing it through to get all the roots and whatever. I like this product because it doesn't seem to seep onto the skin and mess with your complexion products. And if there's any like globs or whatever, you can just brush them out and they'll stay on your brow brush, on your spoolie, which is handy. Moco de Gorilla. It doesn't have a heavy, crazy scent. I think there is a scent, but it's not going to be too intense or distracting, but it does dry down quickly and let you lift and brush through. Lift, and brush through. Lift and brush through. Right, and having used this black pencil, I think I got a little bit too much on my right brow. Can just bounce some of that off with our beauty sponge, and then we have a little booger of gel on our spoolie. Get that into our dish, which we're gonna wash, and this just keep our modus operandi, which is brushing up for lift, right? Giving us as much real estate as we possibly can get with our brows, right? That gesture of a lifted brow also does something quite subtle but powerful to visually lift the face and make it look groomed, right? We're not trying to look like someone else, but you do look different when you've actually groomed your face, right? When you've actually done something to smooth your hair, depending on the texture. Some people like to brush their hair. With me, I like to apply water and just sort of guide it into what I want it to like lift and look like. I am unhappy with how much this eyelash glue is still sticking on my face. I'm dampening this sponge just a tidbit, right? I've got this Urban Decay Stay Naked the Fix powder in 30W0, and I could use this to brighten, but just tapping out any creases under the eye. Maybe we should powder, but someone said yesterday I should put on mascara, then curl my lashes, then put on lashes. Should we do that? Should we powder a bit? We did use this brush to get on some powder yesterday, so let's try it, right? We have this Urban Decay powder. We love the packaging of how glowy and gold it is. It does come with its own sponge, but I like taking whatever product has wandered around the package and getting that onto my brush, just so that we're not piling a lot of powder on the skin. This is a Morphe M581. You know, it's like the end of an era that, you know, the Morphe that we knew is kind of no longer with us. And it's so funny to hear people talking so much smack about Morphe now that their fortunes have changed. But when the fortunes were different, ooh, even more of this gel on my finger. You know, now it's, oh, I never liked them anyway. Oh, you know, this product was never good. Oh, I appreciate Morphe in the sense that, you know, it was part of my introduction to makeup, my introduction to, you know, feeling empowered to do things to my own face that really only professionals had done to me. So I wasn't hating. I don't dislike my Morphe brushes. You know, people talk smack. They're like, oh, they're so cheap. They're so this, they're so that. It's like, and yet I have them. They're like, oh, but they're really just crown brushes. They're really just this, they're really just that. And you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Random mascara. They said I needed to put on some random mascara. I'm always looking to finish mascaras that I have. This is the Maybelline The Falsies Push Up Angel. This was my Road Dog mascara that lived in my set bag for a long time. I'm not sure how convinced I am of the theory of having to put on mascara in order to put on falsies, but let's test it out. We're not going to curl our lashes, but we can certainly see what kind of grip or what kind of difference it'll make to have some kind of mascara on, right? We are definitely looking a little bit more made up and working with some natural tones, working with the makeup that we have, creating a little bit of a lift and a little bit more depth in the eye area. Sculpting the cheeks, maybe a little bit too much sculpt right here, but certainly the jawline. You know, I'm just never happy with how clearly this line comes through. It looks fine when I put it on, but then when I want to cover it, but I'm not using a full coverage, kind of complexion product because I don't want it to look that heavy. And indeed, the finish to me is quite nice, right? Any places where highlight and whatnot need to be blended differently. I don't want to lift product off, but, you know, just think about if you are in close proximity to people, right? I have a friend who does TV news commentary, and it's not really him, but some of the women that he performs with, I've had conversations with him. I'm like, why do they do her like that? Like, so much damage to her real hair, so much suspicious looking makeup. And kudos to her for remaining on the air, but, you know, they don't gotta do her like that. I've heard people talk about trimming their lashes or trying the lashes on and blah, blah, blah. I'm actually just trying to finish so that I can get on with my, what were they saying? To bend the lash package in some kind of way and pull the lashes off. We did get hold of a different lash glue that I think will be more successful. But I'm not unhappy with how my eyeshadow looks. Not unhappy with this lip color. We're just gonna try to get hold of these lashes, right? According to this should be the left lash, right? And they say apply the outer corner first, then the inner corner. So I feel like I feel like that would be fine in terms of length without trimming it. This one person was saying that she didn't want her lash to go too far in. I may, oh my goodness, look at what I have. I actually have tweezers. I have two pairs. I have this one and I have this one. Why am I shocked? This is so cute. Look at me being more prepared than I thought I was. So I can use these tweezers. Now they were saying to curl the lashes before. Where my lash curlers are, that's a good question. Oh man, look at me. More prepared than I thought I would be. Ooh-wee. Look at me, we're cooking with gas now. So we have the lash off of its little home. We have the lash tweezers. And look, we've got the lash curlers. We're in the game now. Are you supposed to curl your own lashes before you put these on, or just the false lashes? Let's try just curling the false lashes, right? Do we hold them with the tweezers and then attempt to curl them? But look how sexy. Rose gold. Did you think I was capable of having such such glorious style? Maybe this is a job for the other tweezers that have less real estate. I had gotten these pink tweezers for the purpose of stamping on eyeliner in the inner corner. Ooh, this is more complicated than I thought it would be. I watched, obviously, some tutorials where people made it look a lot simpler. But I'm rocking with it, and I'm bravely rocking with it on camera, right? I could edit the struggle out. Well, there's some amount of 1, 2, 3 of curling. It's quite a trick to get the whole thing into the mouth of the curler. Voila. Did you ever think that someone wearing an unattractive plaid shirt would be curling their lashes? Probably not. Well, there's a curl in them. Let's move on. We have to get down to the real business, right? In the real world, you don't necessarily do this whole part. Other people do it for you, right? They do your makeup while you're on your phone and you're thinking about your lines or whatever. But this is the Stick With Me Eileen lash adhesive, and look at it. It's liquidy. It comes out the package. Lashes are dancing in a circle. That's not helpful. Of course, I dripped lash glue all over my finger. And then someone was talking about the fact that lash glue can and should turn blue before you know it's tacky enough to apply. So we're cheating and we're getting it on our, taking the extra off and putting it on our, on our lash. Maybe we should switch to the other tweezers. These are the moments where you're glad that not that many people watch your lives to see the struggle. But they say, now is it blue enough yet? people wave it through the air. These kinds of tweezers with the little hammer head are definitely more secure for holding your lashes. The little ones, just the lashes just twist out and then fall. But if this is enough blueness, or does it need more blue? But they say apply the outer edge first, right? And then the inner edge. As close to your own natural lashes as you can. And then push them in and down. Will I still be able to read with these lashes? Look at me! Lashed! All right, other side. I did something. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's gonna stay on. I don't know if it's bad, but I did it. Ioni for the affordable lash. There's all kinds of lash brands. There's people selling lashes on Amazon, etc. But no time to waste. Let's get this glue that dripped onto our beauty sponge on the lash and try to be precise and intentional about it. I think with practice, we're going to get better. There was a time where I was constantly in lashes. Then I got lash extensions once, and I didn't like that experience. I just thought, ooh, so terrible. I've heard of people putting lash glue in their brows, that it gives a lot of lift. So whatever remnants, let's try that, just so that we're not wasting it. We can take our Ioni spoolie and do another up comb, just to give ourselves some more long-lasting lash lift. Now, I never look at my brows and think, oh, I should add more in terms of color or drawing more lines. Maybe to the end of my brow, right, to make it longer. Add a few hairs, but I never feel like, oh, it doesn't look good. Now, unlike that other Ioni glue, this dries on the finger in one thin film, and you can actually just let it dry and like rub it off. Yesterday I had to get, Vaseline involved. It is sticky, but we're trying to let it live and grip where it's supposed to grip, right? End of the lash first, and then get the front of the lash on at the front of the eye. Scoot it down so it's as close to your natural lashes as possible. I look like a cartoon. Well, that's lashes. We're in the lash game. And this lash glue has gone on in a much more, it feels a lot more secure. We have definitely activated our, what do you call these? Tweezers. And we definitely need to clean up a lot of different items. This is the little thing that holds our rose gold tweezers closed, but I want to say I got all of these items at the dollar store, and certainly I have the option to go in and curl these lashes, but I feel like they're curled enough. This is a lot of lash. I did consider using ones that looked a little bit more natural, but I was like, you know what? Let me just give it to them. Plaid shirt or not, I'm ready for the streets. These lashes look like they're about 2 inches long, and they did not look that extreme when I put them on. They're wispy crisscross, handmade, Sinharaja. Carefully remove with tweezers. Compare false eyelashes with your eyeline length. Trim if necessary. Glue along the lash line. Hold eyelash on the root of your natural lashes with light pressure. Apply eyeshadow to make your eyeline more natural. We did that beforehand. I owe this to one of my House of Tanya live shop well, two people commented. They were like, your lashes look crazy because, was it me or was it that lash glue? I ask you. You know, I can do a good job. I can. There's a lot of lash. Thank God the eye makeup wasn't completely crazy beforehand, but now I can see why people go in with a half lash, because this is a lot. It's super long. I look like a cartoon, but that's okay. That's glamour. Do we need to add more lip liner to balance out the way this looks? Look at me grabbing that eye pencil. We did get this Urban Decay powder on. I think that our sculpt came out good. We're gonna add a little bit more of this Line Loud in Rebel Kind, my favorite. I should actually add that black, but you know, black was our foundation. I think this brown will look a little bit less hanging out by the bodega, but also sculpted. Do we need more blush? Do we need a darker blush? Do we need something to give us some zhuzh on the cheek, or is this enough? Right? We've gone in with layers of our sculpt, right? And our highlight. This is the beauty look, right? To get us ready to read some chapters from our book, right? We have been using the tail end of our brushes to blend the edge of our lip color, right? Just so the edge pops and that we're looking sculpted. I kind of feel like I want more on the cheek, but I can certainly add that later. What kind of highlighter? A cream highlighter, a powder highlighter. Here's a random highlighter, right? This is Highlighting Illumineur. This is also from the dollar store. It doesn't even have a brand name, but I know for certain I got it at the dollar store. Let's see if we can use the corner of our brush and get this on the high point. That's gonna do something for us. It doesn't look glittery, but it doesn't really do that much. But again, we're just trying to go through our stash and determine what's what. If it doesn't do anything for us, then we'll keep an eye on different mirrors and different kind of viewfinders, right? Getting it in all the highlight places. Just see if it creates any kind of value. It is more of a kind of buff colored rather than a white or a blue reflect. Some of the products we've been getting into lately are more extreme. It might be doing something subtle, but dollar store. If it doesn't work, it only costs you $1. But in any case, this is me prepped for doing my reading. Can I even get my glasses on over this? This is what it's looking like. If I turn this light off, you can see a little bit more skin tone coming through. My eyes look like I'm ready for the stage or the pole, your choice. But anyway, this is Tanya, House of Tanya. Thank you for sitting with me and listening to me as I talked about my makeup and, you know, just some other things I'm gonna get done on camera today, and I will check you later. I'm wearing this shirt. Are you shocked? Don't be shocked. I'm wearing lashes. Wow, surprise. I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.